I just want to thank everybody who has been watching my story. I know it's crazy. It's crazy to me. It took me a very long time to get the courage to even post it because it sounds crazy. It doesn't sound like it could be real. It's very much real. Like I said, I'm very much still living in hiding 11 months after all this started, but as I have been, in hiding and in isolation, not talking to anybody because, something that started out with what I thought was, DV, an abusive husband, turned into my parents, my sisters, my children, all, working with him to try to take my life, try to paint me as mentally ill and all these things that I'm not. It turned into everyone that I knew turning their back on me thanks to a horrible smear campaign that my husband and family had started, full of just disgusting lies about me, full of fake profiles that they'd created, pretending to be me and just saying horrible things online. I'll get into some of the things that they've done just to ruin, my reputation, my image, have people think that I'm somebody that I'm not, literally pretending to be me online to ruin my reputation. But I do want to get into kind of as I started to put all the pieces of this huge crazy puzzle together over the last few months, what I figured out. So I had questioned my husband's sexuality a little bit. Here's the thing, he never talked about gay people. A lot of homophobic people, it's why are you so angry about what somebody else is doing? It's because you want to do it too and you're sad you can't live in your truth. He wasn't like that. It never really came up. His sister is married to a woman. He never said anything about gay people or anything like that. I never had a real reason to assume that he was DL. He was, though. I caught him cheating a lot, but it was always with women that I thought, literally he went on a trip to New York and I caught him, went through his emails and he was soliciting sex workers out there, women ones. And just all the time, back in the day, I caught him on Craigslist all the time, in the random hookup section, trying to meet up with women. Again, we didn't sleep in the same bedroom for years because I kept catching him doing this. I tried to leave for years but couldn't because he always threatened money and kids and everything else. But there was one time that kind of stuck out in my head years and years ago where I caught him on Craigslist. I had saw the email. I didn't see, maybe I saw him respond to the email. I didn't see the ad, so I didn't see the photo of the person if they included a photo. But I remember that the description of the person said chubby and hairy. And I was that's a weird way for a woman to advertise herself online to get men to come hook up with her. It was a hookup ad, a straight up, I just want to come hook up with you ad. And he had responded to it, and then he had went out all night and came back so drunk he passed out in the hall and peed on himself, really drunk. So I was that's weird, but it just kind of put out my mind. And things like that happened over the years, and he would always be oh, gay men always hit on me, and it's they have their gaydars on. That never clicked to me that these gay men who are always hitting on him know something that I do not know, but they and just little things like that. But it wasn't until literally the very, very end where I'm hold on, something is definitely wrong because he's really mean to me, which he was really mean to me because, if you were watching my previous videos, you would know he had a whole baby. I'm sure he was trying to get me to leave so he could be in a relationship with his child's mother or somebody else. He didn't like me. He never liked me. But at the end, he was just very, very, very mean to me, nonstop. It was unbearable. But what was weird to me is he would every single morning get on the phone with his best friend and be laughing and giggling, and they would talk all day. And I was like, this is like kind of weird that you're being so mean to me and you're being so nice to your best friend and you talk to him all the time, to the point like my son in the mornings, he would not get him ready. Like, again, he worked at home. He wouldn't be like clocked in for work yet. He would just be like on the phone with his friend. It was like as soon as he woke up, he would like FaceTime his best friend. And I had to get our son ready, even if I had to like physically go to work. I still had to get our son ready because he would literally just be on FaceTime with his best friend every day. And I was like, this is weird. He like went to brunch with his best friend, went to dinner with his best friend, like didn't include me, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, this is kind of weird. And the fact that you're so nice to him, you're so mean to me, and just like how you talk about women in general, like, even though, if you watched one of my previous videos about my sister, like, he definitely had an affair with my sister, but he used to call her, like, horrible names, and, like, he talked about women like that in general, like, just horrible things he said. So I'm like, you clearly, like, hate women, and you're super nice to men. And then, like, his best friend had even lived with us. He was on drugs and got off and, like, came to our house because he had nowhere else to go. And again, Rob wasn't working, of course, and it was on me. And I let this man live with us, which is wild, which I now know was, like, his lover. And he definitely had me, like, paying for his lover to live with us, which is wild, but, you know, what can you do, right? So then it all started to come together, and what really, really set it off for me was, like, he FaceTimed him all day, even, like, if he would go to the bathroom. And then he was like, oh, yeah, like, Logan, that's his friend, said, like, I should go to the doctor because my pee stream seems light. And I'm like, why are y'all listening to each other pee? Like, this is getting kind of weird. I don't know about men like FaceTime, because you're not even like on the phone, like audio, you're FaceTiming on video, like while you pee, and he's talking about your pee stream. They had very like homosexual nicknames for each other, like dick butt, which again, like, girl, like, he told you right there. He told you. Who says dick butt to their friend that they're not sleeping with? Come on. So it got to the point, like, even after one of our arguments, I asked Logan, his friend, like, I messaged him. So I'm like, listen, Rob is super mean to me always, and he's really nice to you. You got to tell me, like, are y'all, like, messing around sexually? Because it feels like that. And I've seen weird things in Rob's phone, again, going back to that weird Craigslist ad and stuff. And I'm just like, this seems weird. And Logan's like, no, I don't know about him, but like, I only like women, whatever. But it was when, again, if you watched my previous videos, my husband's a pedophile, you know, and everyone that I know for sure that he's essayed, which was 4 children at this point, all boys. So I was like, okay, clearly I was spot on when I said that you and Logan are lovers. Logan spent basically his whole life locked up. It all makes sense now. Like, that is your homosexual lover. That's why y'all need to go to brunch without me. That's why y'all need to go to dinner without me. That's why you are FaceTiming him always and giggling, and like, okay, now it all makes sense. I get it. Cool. So I'm married to this DL man who, like, is sleeping with all these men, all these women, just everybody. And again, I know that TikTok is kind of okay with this, so I'll get into it. Do I think he's a warlock who was, like, doing spell work and witchcraft on me? 1,000% yes. I already talked about my sister, who is a destiny swapper, who I know is like doing beauty magic on me and like glamour spells and things like that on herself to like look different, look more like me, just weird stuff, energy cloaking, talked about all that. So my husband was absolutely a warlock, and I say this because, again, in one of my previous videos, I talked about how I had to leave the house because I had my gums cut. I had to get a biopsy. I actually had to get 2 biopsies of my gums 2 years in a row because my gums wouldn't stop bleeding. And no, like the dentists were very scared because they're like, it's growing like this like tissue that needs to be taken out. Like I got tissue taken out twice, and like after the first year it started bleeding again after a few months of healing, and then they're like, it's growing, like we think it's cancer. Like I had to keep getting these biopsies. It only started when my husband gave me a water pick. I had told him I had wanted a water pick, but it wasn't like top priority type thing. And then randomly one day he's like, oh, I got you a water pick. Like it wasn't a gift for like a holiday or anything. My husband was very selfish. He's not buying gifts just to buy gifts. And then like a month, if that, into having the water pick, I thought I just cut my gums because I had the water pressure too high up, but my gums never stopped bleeding. Never. For 2 years. He did something to that water pick, trying to make me have an illness. I'm pretty sure he was trying to like make me have cancer, because as I see now, like they've not wanted me to be alive. And it didn't just start in 2025 when I left. This is 2024, maybe even 2023. But again, if you watch my other stuff, you would see that they had businesses dating back to 2023. Him and my family had already like set up bank accounts back in 2023. So like trying to unalive me didn't start in 2025. So witchcraft for sure. And again, if you know anything about spirituality and witchcraft, and like if you put stuff out there that like doesn't do what it's supposed to the person that you're trying to, like it can hit your people. Like it can go hit unintended targets. And all I'm gonna say is, by the grace of God, I have not been diagnosed with cancer, even though I had 2 biopsies, even though you can't tell me that that man didn't put something on my water pick. But you know who did suddenly develop cancer and pass away from it during this time was his grandmother. To me, that feels like you intended it to hit me and it didn't, the way that you thought, and it went to somebody that you didn't intend. That's what it feels like, because it was literally out of nowhere. She got diagnosed and it quickly progressed and she passed away, and it was all during this time. So definitely married a DL Warlock who was trying to take me out, who literally wanted to be me. When I talk about like morphed into me, all the music that I like, the restaurants that I like, everything that I like, all of my interests. If I say I want to do something, I'm going to do it too. And then like after we split up and I could still see the joint bank account that he was using for a little bit, where all his dates, literally every restaurant, if I said I liked it, that's the restaurant he was taking people to. How he talked, how he did everything, him trying to like literally infiltrate like my coworkers and people that like I was friends with, and like take them over, like literally like kick me out and like take over that relationship. Like chill, like this is weird. So a DL Warlock who wants to be me, cool, fun. A DL Warlock who had me paying for his friend, lover, friend, whatever you want to call it. Crazy. But let me get into another attempt on my life that was, again, pre-2025, when I left him and things got really, really, really out of hand. I was absolutely poisoned by him, and my sister as well. So Rob and I had gone to Atlanta. This is 2024. I'm working for Nissan. We had a regional office in Atlanta. A couple days for a meeting. Rob went with me. He traveled with me a lot because he didn't trust me, and then tried to pretend like, oh, I just want to go with you. It's like, you don't trust me, stop, but whatever. So we went out one night. We went out to dinner and we went to Magic City. I only had one drink. Rob went to the bar to order our drinks. I'm sitting at a table, order chicken wings. I have hookah. You know, I'm less than one drink in, and I'm like, I tell Rob, I'm dizzy and I can't breathe. And he was like, okay, we can go. And I try to stand up and I can't. Like, I stand up to leave and I lose consciousness completely. And I fall. I like knock a table completely over that we were smoking hookah on. Hookah coals fall all over me. Like, the club stops, the people stop dancing, everything stops. And like, I tried to get up and I lost consciousness again, and I passed out again, completely like just out. And it took 2 security guards to like pick me up and like take me out, and they got me out of the club. And like after a couple of minutes I was able to come to, and I felt completely normal. This is actually the scar from when the hookah coals like fell on me. Like, literally, hookah fell on me. So why I bring this up now is, again, as I had all these months to like think through all the weird things that had happened over the years and start putting 2 and 2 together, then I'm like, hold on. When that happened to me, Rob was like, oh, it's just because you were smoking hookah and like basically like you lost your oxygen or something. The thing is, I was a hookah girl, okay? I will show you pictures of me smoking hookah. I had hookah in my house. If there was hookah at a lounge, a restaurant, I don't care. I was smoking it. Never passed out, okay? So Rob had my ID because I didn't want to take a purse inside. And so he had left his credit card like at the tab. At the bar. So he gets me in the car and he's like, hey, I'm gonna go grab my credit card from the bar, close out the tab, whatever. And it takes him a while to come back, and he's like, hey, this is super weird, but like I had to go to the bathroom while I was in there, and all the dancers hopped off the stage. All the girls working there ran in the bathroom and accused me of drugging you. And I had to be like, no, that's my wife. And he had my ID with him. So he's like, look, we have the same last name, like showing them my license and his license. So they like let him go. But he was like, no, they were really like adamant that I had drugged you. And I was like, oh, it's just because I'm like a Black girl who just passed out with this like white man, right? Like, I'm sure they were just like, oh, this looks weird. However, now that I put 2 and 2 together, his explanation of why I probably passed out doesn't make sense. It's never happened again. Smoking hookah, I smoked hookah all the time and it never happened before. But why were all them so adamant that he had drugged me? It's because somebody saw him. It's because he went to the bar to order my drinks. If somebody at the bar saw him put something in my drink and then they saw me pass out, they were like, no, everybody, that man did it. That's why she passed out. It wasn't a coincidence, and it wasn't just like, oh, girls like assuming. No, they didn't just assume. Somebody at that club who worked at that club, I'm thinking a bartender, saw him with my drink, saw him put something in it, and then saw me pass out. And like put 2 and 2 together and told everybody like, no, he did this. So if you worked at Magic City in like 2024, you're a bartender, you saw a white man put something in a drink, and then you remember like a Black girl in an orange dress passing out twice. That is me. You can reach out to me. We can talk about it, because he definitely did it. That was not the only time I was drugged. My sister definitely drugged me on Christmas. So Christmas 2024, it's that same year, but like after I had left Rob, before things got real crazy in 2025, when he still was like sending me presents and like thought I might come back to him or whatever, so he didn't like amp up his craziness. I had gone to Christmas, of course, without him at my parents' house. My parents and my sister live in the same neighborhood. And like I ate at my parents' house, and then I went to my sister's house with my kids, and she kept trying to give me what she said was an Adderall. And because she was like, I think you have ADHD, you should try this, like Adderall. And I'm like, girl, I'm not about to just take like a random pill, even though I assumed it really was Adderall because I thought like she was my sister and like my best friend. I'm not about to take an Adderall just because you said like you think I have ADHD. Like, let me actually get diagnosed for having ADHD before I'm out here like popping pills, please. Thanks. So I didn't take it. And then she's like, oh, okay, well, do you want a drink? And I didn't think anything of it. So she made me a drink. And then after I had this drink, I had the worst headache, something I've never, ever, ever felt before. I can't even describe it. I can just say I had a really bad headache. And why this sticks out to me, of course, it's like you drink something and then you have a headache after somebody kept trying to give you the pills. Like, come on. But why this stuck out to me is because I remember I'm like, oh my God, I have this really bad headache. I don't know what's wrong with me. And I remember looking at her because she didn't offer me water. She didn't say like, oh my God, are you okay? Oh my God, like, can I help you in any way? She just kind of smirked. And that stuck out to me because I would never just smirk if somebody had told me they had this really bad headache. And that night that I'd gone through my mom's phone in February, like when I first went in hiding, and I was like looking at all the weird stuff she was doing, I remember one picture was 4 pill bottles. And to my knowledge, what my mom's always told me is that she was only on antidepressant. She didn't have like anything she was taking pills for that I know of. What were in those other pill bottles? What's those 4 pill bottles in that picture? I don't know, but I 100% believe one of those is something that they gave me hoping that I would lose my mind or lose my life that night. But by the grace of God, I'm still here. By the grace of God, I'm still healthy. By the grace of God, I'm still sane. But yeah, so I've talked about multiple attempts to take my life, from literally putting money on my head, having somebody with the GUN at my house, to poisoning me multiple times, to spell work. So like when I say I've been through it, I have been through it. And I was literally surrounded by snakes. And I had no idea.